mi gente. How are you, my beautiful people? Good to see you here. Lily, I see we doing the pink. Are we feeling pink this evening? Are we feeling pink? Little sprinkle. Oh, and the nails. Well, you see my nails. I ain't gotta go see nobody tonight. So
Okay, yeah, I did. I can do the pink and the mauves every day. That's my thing.
I am loving it. I'm loving it. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Welcome, chat. You already know. We always gotta pay the bills up in here. Okay. If you want to support this show, send mama a super chat with your comment or cash at me on the block with Jen. Thank you so much to everyone. Cash apps me when I'm off air because you caught the replay and you like the content. We really create content here. Okay. Um, I lost my cousin. He said enough with planet Earth. So rest in peace to him. Yeah. It's interesting when you don't do drugs and you don't drink, like you gotta take it on the fucking chin. Like you gotta take the pain and keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep working, you gotta keep living, you gotta keep breathing, you gotta keep eating, and you don't numb yourself. Life is the motherfucker. Right? You gotta take a licking people on a ticket. You feel everything. Like you feel everything. There's no numbing for people like me. So you really, and it's like you go from one thing to the other. Oh shit, business, money, and then it's like, oh shit, my cousin just passed. But some of his last words were, "He loves us, but he got to go." So shout out to my cousin. Rest in peace to my cousin. And life goes on. All right, guys. So with that said, tonight's topic. I'm gonna give Cat Williams a little break. Thank you so much, Josh. Just as things will continue to develop and comedians continue to respond and scheme and plan, now they're thinking about comedy competitions and all that. We haven't heard the last of it. We will get back to that, but we've been shooting Cat Williams at y'all for like the past 3 days. I wanted to talk about something a little different tonight, if you will so allow us to. I wanted to talk about something that we touched on before on the vlog. Thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate you. Thank you. Seriously, from the bottom of my little block of ice heart. We touched on this before. Should parents be allowed to opt out of parenting? I know it sounds absurd. It really, really does sound absurd. However, as time goes on with social media, people are getting more honest and they're getting brutally honest, right? People are just saying the days where it was rare, there was a shock jock like a Howard Stern. That's no longer. People are now saying exactly what they feel, exactly what they're going through, exactly who they are, from money to housing to relationships to sex and how they like sex and what their romantic identities are. People are just like, this is who I am, take it or leave it. We didn't see that a lot as much as we see it now. I think social media has made people bolder. Social media is like liquor, right? You get on social media and you're bigger than you are, you're more sexual than you are, you have more money than you do, you're more beautiful than you are because you could just throw a filter over yourself. You can make your titties bigger or smaller, your waist smaller. Guys can look taller on social media. You can rent a car and stand in front of it and look rich. Like, social media is like humanity on steroids, right? And it's just getting crazier and crazier. So with that said, people are being more and more honest. There's this rapper named NBA Youngboy, Haran. Is it NBA before the Young Boy? Okay. So there's a rapper named NBA Youngboy. He has 11 children. He said something rather interesting. Some people were taken aback. I wasn't taken aback. Why? Because I believe 90% of the time, I believe 90% of the time, people don't want kids. They want to fuck. They don't want kids. Children are a cruel side effect, symptom of fucking, right? Because fucking feels good. Doesn't it feel good with the right person? And then here comes this kid you're stuck with for the next couple decades, right? Until you die, you're responsible for the child in one form or another. Even if you're not responsible financially, you're responsible emotionally. You have to be there for this child for the rest of your life, right? If you are going to be responsible for something you did, which is have sex, and that's why they're here, right? So he says something interesting. I want to play what he said, and then I want to chat about it a little bit because I think that's how a lot of people feel, though they don't say it out loud because of the scrutiny and the backlash they're going to get. You're a parent. How dare you feel this way? And weirdly enough, I think the majority of people feel this way. I think they do. I think the majority of people feel a lot of ways they don't say out loud only because they're afraid of what other people are going to think of them. Not because they don't feel it, they feel it, but they're deathly afraid of how society and their friends and even their children are going to look at them. So let's hear what NBA Youngboy had to say. I wasn't taken aback because I know that is how the majority of people feel. And with 11 children, apparently you like to fuck and you like doing it raw. Okay?
Right.
What was that? Y'all okay back there? Okay.
You hear that? You must hear the sounds like I think someone's being killed outside the door.
Oh, you're in New York, right?
Yeah. Bronx.
Yes. Well, then more than likely, yeah, somebody just got kicked down the steps or something.
Yeah.
New York, concrete jungle.
You do have a lot of children, and you know, I've been around you to see in a short amount of time that you're a great father. How important is fatherhood to you, man?
Not really big on it, to be honest.
What do you mean by that? You're not big on it? Like I mean, you're a family man. I'm here with you. I see it.
Yeah, but I'm only out. I'm only like in here because you live.
Oh, well, I don't believe
it's
you.
a crazy topic because I'm not the type like to sugarcoat nothing. But I'm 4 walls all day, every day.
When you say 4 walls, you mean locked in?
Yeah.
Just honed in on the music, recording?
Yeah.
You can take the hat. I don't mind.
We bond a lot, but I'm mostly literally inside.
Working.
No. No matter if I'm watching TV, I just
you know, obviously you do have a lot of children.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been around you to see in a short amount of time that you're a great father. How important is fatherhood to you, man?
Not really big on it, to be honest.
What do you mean by that? You're not big on it? Like I mean, you're a family man. I'm here with you. I see it.
Yeah, but I'm only out. I'm only like in here because you live.
Oh, well, I don't believe it.
So I wanted to end it right there because he said how he feels. What does the guy sitting there say?
No.
I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
taboo. It's taboo to say these things. Like, look. I've said it a dozen times before. I love my daughter. You know what I mean? I wanted my kid. Am I the quintessential father or the model father? Absolutely not. I'm not the model husband. I'm not the model boyfriend. I'm barely the model friend. I am the type of person who very much I adore my solitude. I live in this cave physically or whether in my mind, and I come out when I want to come out to be friends, to have sex, to be a dad. Then I go back into my fucking cave and go code or make music or do whatever the fuck it is that I'm doing. You know, I very much live for me. Very honestly, I mean, when we were out in Vegas, that is naturally who I am. You know what I mean? You know, you were very, about the family. I have to be pulled to go do family shit.
All right.
Exactly. That literally was it half the time. So, that is who I am. That is how I've been with my own mom, you know what I mean? My own situations. So I can't even imagine having more than one kid. Somebody's gonna get the short end of the stick. So one for me is enough.
And this kid has 11 children. Like a lot of other guys that we've seen, like the Futures and who else is it? Boozy. A lot of these guys have a lot. Nick Cannon, the poster boy for having multiple children. And he said himself that he can't be with all of them, right? But he's had children with attractive, semi-attractive women, right? Let's not go crazy. They're not all attractive. I've seen all of them. They're not all attractive, right? But he likes to have sex, unprotected sex with many different women. He's dated Mariah. He's dated Christina Milian. He has a nice resume.
Kim Kardashian.
But say again, Lily?
Kim Kardashian is
Kim Kardashian, right? So, this kid says, I'm not big on it. I'm just not. And I truly, madly, deeply believe him. I believe him. And you notice,
only.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's a delay on my end. I not only believe him, but I applaud his honesty. God,
she's having Wi-Fi issues.
Yeah, Lily, you having Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is not letting you live.
No.
But I heard what you said. You said that you applaud his honesty.
Yes, I applaud his honesty because I feel like most people feel this way, but they're not allowed to say it.
Right. Absolutely. Because it's just unbelievable. It's you can't conceive of it that you would bring a child into the world and not be madly in love with this human being because it came from you. When again, children are the result of sex.
Look, there's a reason why, personally speaking, I believe there's a reason why in all rom-coms, I don't really watch these things, but for the ones that I've seen, I think there's a reason why at the end, you never see life with the family. You see them going through the turmoil and ups and downs to get together, but if you see them actually have a family, they usually cut to the credits and they're usually jovial and happy. Anytime they want to do any kind of family fucking movie, it's usually a drama. You know what I mean? Or some type of backwards fucking comedy. Because that shit is stressful as a fuck. Okay? Being a family person is stressful as a fuck. It's stressful for the wife, stressful for the man. And we compete about who's it's more stressful for. Get the fuck out of here. It's stressful for both motherfucking people. I love you doesn't mean I want to see you every day. That doesn't mean that. It's two totally different things.
It was if you remember, now it's a little bit different situation, but Look Who's Talking. They had a sequence where they imagine, I think Kirstie Alley imagined life in the future, and that's about how it's a bunch of babies. John Travolta on the couch with his big belly sticking out, burping. That's the only movie I can think of where they fast forward to the family portion.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about, right? You know
Yeah. But
you never show the family part, which is the real meat and potatoes of the situation. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, but my question is this: if he's not big on being a father, when did he take 11 kids to figure that out? Couldn't he figure it out about 4, 5?
Look,
that was my question.
Now he has 11 kids, and now he figures he's not big on being a father. Maybe try out 2 and see where you're at before you have the other.
Well, judging by this young man, he's covered in facial tattoos. It's not necessarily the kind of guy you would say makes long-term life decisions. He's not he's not a long game guy. You know what I mean? He's a guy who lives in the moment. You know what I mean? And afterwards he thinks like, damn, this really wasn't a good idea. You know, one of the, you know, I will say this though. I say it all the time. Nature is far more intelligent than human beings, because there's a reason why we have orgasms.
Mhm.
And that's the reason why you have a libido. Because in order for people to actually, for men and women to actually stomach each other long enough to create more people, there has to be some sort of burning urge. You know what I
I
mean?
believe that.
It's just a task. If there was no orgasm, no libido, and no task, we'd have died off long time ago. You know what I mean? We have to want
Yeah.
each other, like literally.
It's interesting that you say, can you guys,
We can hear you.
I can hear you.
it's windy here too. I don't know what's going on this planet right now, but
Oh, no, it's a bad storm going on.
I mean,
Well,
even out
it's
here on the West Coast, it's
horrible.
crazy.
I couldn't even go home today, you all. Like it's so bad out there. Like it's horrible. Like it's the rain and the wind. Like it's yeah.
It can't. Yeah, we had that yesterday,
bad.
so it's probably heading up your way, I guess.
Yeah, so we're such animals, right? And people say, you know, well, good thing for laws and good thing for constructs, you know, because it keeps people in line. And you know, I think we're more animalistic than we want to believe that we are, because we literally need the threat of prison and death and fines and lawsuits,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to make us behave, right? So I'm looking at this comment here. I understand it, but I want to touch on it, right? Josh W says, well, people don't take marriage and raising kids seriously. It's a damn shame. The only reason for them to take it seriously is literally society and backlash, right? When you see animals mating in the streets and in the jungle, you know what I mean? That some of them raise the children up to a certain point. Some of them lead their children, lay the eggs, and it's like, peace, right? People don't like it, but I think we're more that than not. I've seen primates be better parents than human beings.
I think part of the resentment women have from men is that women can't just up and leave. They don't have the same freedoms men have, per se.
Well, you mean the ones that stay? Because I know many women who up and left.
I mean, the ones that stay.
They're doing
you
it
know
now.
what I
They're
mean?
doing it more now than
I mean, technically speaking, you still can't up and leave if you, let's just assume you plan on having the child. You're still stuck for 9 months. You know what I mean? Before
Yeah.
you get the decision of adoption, if that is the thing.
Mhm.
So the guy, the moment he catches wind of the situation, he can get out of there.
Mhm.
He
Correct.
can pull the ripcord. You know what I mean? Women, you know, it's a little bit more of a dicey thing. And also, again, women get shamed like a motherfucker. You know, it's a different. You see, I'll be honest. For me as a man, I don't have to do much to be a great dad or be considered a great dad, especially as a black man. I'm just keeping it 100. I just gotta be around, peel a couple of potatoes, you know what I mean? Show up for a few recitals, blah blah blah. And as a man, as a black man, I'm an active father because the bar is so fucking low. With women, it's like if you abandon your kids, especially if you go to if you go to, you know what I mean, family court, and if a woman loses her child, her children in family court, people look at that woman like, how can you lose your children? Because in their mind, it's like you have to be an ultimate piece of shit in order for the judge to be like, yeah, take them kids away from them. So it's a lot of
Haran, do you think as society, you think, and women in general, I wonder if because the baby, you know, they had the baby inside of them for like 9 months, that they almost feel like it is more theirs than it is the guys.
Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? And in some regard, it's a good argument. I don't want to
But
ever get fucking
that
pregnant.
thought
I'm
process
glad,
is changing.
I'm glad I don't get pregnant. Like shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's there's an argument if they want to hold that over people's heads. And plus, I was a 12-pound baby. My mother went through a lot.
Yeah.
So
And the
it is
fact that
what it is.
they're caretakers too is another thing.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and plus, personally speaking, I think that when a child comes into the world, and this is for every species, the child should go with the mother. The child is supposed to go with the mother.
But that's only because, in my opinion, that's only because that is where they are to get their food.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
where they get their food. So they must.
Yeah, I mean, it's important, Janice. I mean, like, that's important.
No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm
Mhm.
saying because that's where they get their food. So when
Okay.
you're saying they should go with the mother, well, if they don't go with the mother, they won't survive because that's where the food is, that they can't get milk from daddy.
Also, it's not just the milk; it's the nurturing chemicals and so on and so forth that only a mother can provide. Like, look, if a kid doesn't get touched by the mother and it's entering into the world, that can't affect the child. It can.
Well, the kid doesn't get touched at all.
Well, I would argue that the mother is the most important, but
And I'm
yes,
saying I can say an
the
infant.
child is not touched
That's
at
not-
all.
Yeah, if he's not touched at all. Like when you go to those orphanages and what is it? I don't want to get the wrong country, but I saw a documentary many moons ago, and they went to this orphanage. I don't know if it was Romania or whatever, and there was like strings. I'm sure you've seen it, No Saint. And there's like rows of cribs, and the children, the babies, are just rocking back and forth, and they don't stop rocking back and forth because nobody's touching them, nobody's nurturing, nobody's with them, and you just bug out, right? So they have to be touched, they have to be held, they have to be nurtured. But I think that's a human thing more
Yes, it
than
is.
anything else, because I'm like, I can't either I'm going to be single or I'm going to be with a man that's affectionate. I loathe the men that aren't affectionate. Unfortunately, a lot of black guys aren't affectionate because
I
your man
mean,
shit and didn't hug you.
okay, that's another conversation entirely. It's a little pot shot, but
You didn't see that jab coming, right? You gotta be careful.
unnecessary. But anyway, you know,
I am unnecessary. You know that.
but the point here being that yes, as human beings, you need touch. You need to be touched. You know what I mean? Like, look, I talk that loner shit as much as I do, but the reason why I go out my cave, is because I need to smell a woman. I need to have her arm on me. I need to experience her. You know what I mean? And because without that, you know what I mean, as a man, especially as a masculine man, you start turning. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You tend to get a little aggressive when you are left to your own devices, when you are somewhat of an aggressive man.
But what about men that are celibate and single for a while and they're just busy with life? Do you think that if a man has too much idle time on his hands, he'll be more inclined to be like that horn dog?
I don't know, because when I seek that kind of, attention, it's not that I have, any kind of idle time on my hand. It's just that kind of hunger that I need. You know what I mean? I just can't. It's just isolation isn't too. It isn't. It isn't. Too much isolation per se isn't good. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. Too much isolation isn't good.
So you wouldn't do prison well then?
No, not at all. Especially if I get thrown in the hole. I'd probably survive, a couple of months, be like, yeah, man. But after a while, I'm gonna be talking to my motherfucking self like a motherfucker.
Wow. Yeah. E Music says kids without fathers are at a disadvantage. in life. Do you think that's because specifically, let's just use this country because this is where we all live right now. I know people watch us from the UK. How are you, darlings? But in this country, do you think that children are at a disadvantage in this country because of the way society is set up here? Like, would it be different in another country, bar the threat of being attacked or killed by some outside element? Do you think specifically in this country, it's hard to grow up without a dad in this country, the way things are set up?
Well, we have to be specific about the dad. Is the
Okay.
dad a sucker, but he's in the goddamn house? Well, if he is, then he's not that useful. What kind of father are we talking about? Are we talking about a father that can actually contribute to the family? Because a lot of times when we hear that narrative, it just sounds like just the presence of a man alone is all the kid needs. Like, no, if you're going to be there, you have to do something. You know what I mean? You have to provide something. Some would say outside of money, something, some sort of foundation, wise word, something. Now if you're going down that path, great. But if you're just there and there's barely any food on the table, and there's always this ominous feeling anytime you walk into the room, then no, I would say no. The child does not benefit from the father.
Right. He probably means a productive father.
And if
Look
that,
at this.
yes,
Look at this comment here. He's selfish in not considering his children's feelings, thoughts about what should be a person they can call dad. Ugh.
Selfish is such a really funny word when people try to weaponize it, because 9 times out of 10, when people call other people selfish, somebody was selfish with you, and they're pretty happy. I know a lot of people who are guilty for thinking about themselves ever in life. Like, no, you're not supposed to do that. And then they feel drained. That's
Right.
usually the one the whole family sucks that motherfucker dry. Because they're like, yeah, Mikey will do it. Mikey will eat it. Give it to Mikey. You know what I mean? Because it's like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Everybody, look, people know who to run game on.
Mm-hmm.
People know, and when you're so entangled in that, no, I can't say no. We're family. We have a duty. Like, fuck that, man. Sometimes you got to cuss folks out and be about your business, man. Yes, and nothing's wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying I love my kid, but I don't want to see my kid every fucking day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way that you said earlier about a spouse. Like, I love you, but I don't want to see you every day. Don't.
Do you think your kid wants to see you every day?
No. No.
Like your teenage kid does not.
Yeah, once they're teenagers, it's different. I think when they're younger, they don't mind it, but they get to be teenagers. They got their own stuff going on. I think
so
that
when they become young adults or adults, they become what adults are supposed to be, except teenagers, because they don't have couth. They'll tell you, like, leave me alone. I don't even bother. They're going, right? And then what happens? Adults happen to free spirits. Adults happen, and adults start telling them that is rude. And when someone's there for you, you got to be there for them. That is rude. You have to love people that love. And they start putting these things in their head. And what happens? They just conform to, this is how adults are supposed to act. But when children are very little and when they're teenagers, that's a free spirit, right? That's a free spirit. And then people start telling you what you're supposed to do and walk and talk like, and who you're supposed to marry and what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go to school and and then you just live these things, and then hence the midlife crisis, which Lily and I discussed on Sisterhood Sips, isn't a crisis at all. It's you fucking breaking free from all the shit they told you to do. And now you're going back to what the fuck it is that you wanted to do to begin with. Because what do they say to adults that are doing wild shit? You're acting like a child. You shouldn't be in a Corvette. Who does that? You're acting like a fucking child, right? No, the person is fucking going back to being free. That's who they were to begin with, but they had the confines of responsibility and parents. So this here, I think people forget that parents are still human beings, right? It's not a symbiotic relationship. You're not attached literally umbilical cord to this other thing that you gave birth to. And the thing you gave birth to doesn't feel that way about you either. It's a whole other human being. It's a whole other person that has nothing to do with you. Yeah, just, you know what I mean? It came from you, yes. But when I hear stuff like, you're not considering the children's feelings, thoughts about what should be a person they can call dad. That dad was a whole person. Let's go back to NBA Boy for 1 second. Notice he said, "Hey, I'm here because you here." Right? I guess he's insinuating we're doing this interview. Of course, I'm in the living room with the kid climbing all over me. Right? But he said, when I'm not here, I'm four walls all day, meaning that he's doing what he loves all day, which is be in the studio and create music, whether we like it or not, whether we consume his music or not. That is what brings him joy. Not those 11 children, but literally being locked in a room with his musical equipment, making music. Right? That's why the other guy was like, oh, I don't believe you. No, I believe him. I believe him. But he likes fucking like everybody else. And here come the kids. And he likes fucking raw.
Oh, look, man, I've said it often. Lies are the cornerstone of a civilized society. You know, in order for a society to be, in order for you to be deemed civilized, you have to suppress and repress your natural urges. Okay, you gotta lie most of the time. The truth, a civilized society can't be built on the truth. Relationships can't be built on the truth per se. You know what I mean? It's just you have to go along to get along to some degree. You know what I mean? You know what I mean when it comes to life, to some degree, even for people such as myself. You know what I mean? Sometimes I gotta let a motherfucker have it. You know what I mean? Literally just take their toy and get the fuck out my office because I got shit to do. So if me just giving you your little fucking, you know what I mean, top that you need to spin around so you can get the fuck out my office, then I'm going to do that. But what he's saying, people that the other guy was just saying, no, you don't believe, because in his mind, he is essentially combating that truth. He's combating his truth in his mind because it's not civilized. It's not civilized for you to say that.
Right, which right here, Buffalo Mind says, it's crazy these people don't even consider how they look, if not to themselves, but the world at large, right? Which takes me back to people do and don't do, say and don't say things according to what they think the world is thinking of them. That's why they rebel, right? And then midlife crisis. No, they just like, fuck all of you. I got a couple years left to this life. Now I'm going to do what the fuck I wanted to do, what I've always wanted to do, what I've been before the wife and the kids and the husband and school and bills happen.
Yep. And maybe I really, really wanted to wrap a fucking Porsche around a tree and see if I can survive that bitch. Maybe I really, really wanted to do that shit. That's my fucking business. The insurance is paid for. Fuck it, you'll be okay. Anyway, go ahead. No, say.
Yeah, no. Listen, you're talking to Haran and you're talking to me. Like I had two that were planned, one that wasn't. Figure out which one. It could have been the first and could have been the last one.
No one's planned. We like to tell ourselves.
No. It actually was. We
really
actually planned the first. Yeah, like you want to.
No, I tagged my daughter.
Yeah.
Like y'all had like today, like the I'm menstruating and blah blah blah.
Well, I don't. Like, to me, you want to have a baby? Yeah, and
like no lie at all. We I wanted to see our faces mashed together so badly. And that's exactly what I got. Like some angles she looks like me, more angles she looks like her dad. But no, we planned. It wasn't a mistake, you know. But most children are accidents.
Yeah, but to say that, but to say that you think out the ramifications, you know, all you think about is you think have a baby, you know, you might think, okay, they're gonna grow up, they're gonna do this, you know, but and another, I would say this to people because kids in general, I don't know, I'm gonna speak from what I see and how I am. You never give your parents the love that they probably deserve, right? When you get older, like you take them for granted, And so in a way, I'm ready for that. I know, I know how I am. I mean, and I sit there and I have dialogues in my mind, like, and really the reason that I'm feeling this way is some things that I'm going through that I don't like my situation. So I'm kind of projecting and like things are getting on my nerves because it's really me, right? But kids, so I'm prepared. Like I was prepared for the teenagers to ignore me, or not really want. I was kind of, because I was a kid too one time, and I know myself, right? But I think people have kids thinking that I need someone, like the same excuse they use for getting married. Oh, who's gonna wipe your ass? Who's gonna take care of you? I never had that delusion. Like, I try to set myself up that if I need to be taken care of, it won't have to be my kids, because you never know if they're going to show up or not. They might. But yeah, the only problem I have with the honesty of that, and we were talking about it when you're on the phone, is like, okay, well, if you're not crazy about being a father, you need to cut it off at a few, not have 11 and say that, because it's irresponsible. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm sure I don't even dwell on it, Harley, but I mean, I know there was a lot of things, because I know how much it costs to raise kids and everything, that I denied myself. If I just would have been single my whole life, I could have had a great car. I could have, maybe, I would have had a stylist or something. Who knows, but I don't regret it. I mean, I don't regret the fact that I made the decisions I made, and now I'm seeing it through. That's the way, Is it always fun? No, it's not always fun. But at the end of the day, I just feel like there was, you have to, and I love my kids, so it's not a real big deal to me. But even if I felt like he felt like, okay, but you still got to go through with, I feel attention is important. I think being in between four walls is not necessarily the best thing for the kids that he had. But that's just me.
That's why I'm asking the question: should parents be allowed to opt out of parenting? It's not Snow Bunny. Is this another cracker in the block? Says everyone's life isn't ran by hedonism. That's the thing with humans; they go from one extreme to the other. Like, because someone wants to opt out, if someone wants to opt out of parenting, they automatically, oh, you're a porn star. Like, there are a lot of in betweens before hedonism. In between hedonism, and I just I thought I wanted to be a parent. Oh shit, I fucked up. I don't want to be a parent. There's a lot in between there. A lot in between. It doesn't go from one extreme to the other, but that is how people react to questions like this, because they want to shun, like, no, I can't. I gotta believe that parents are wonderful and all loving, and I gotta believe that children love their parents all the time. And it's bullshit. People lie to themselves constantly, even though they see the tangible proof in front of their face, right? No saying, you say, and I'm completely devil's advocate tonight, and I know that, but no saying, you said, it's irresponsible. Well, fuck, we've all done irresponsible things, all of us, everybody. It's just that irresponsible thing over there is easy for you to point a finger at, because it's not the irresponsible thing you did. Right? Mm-hmm. So, but the irresponsible thing you did, another man wouldn't do, and he can look at you and be like, no, Saint, that was hella irresponsible. So we're, like Lily says, we're biased, we're hypocrites. We're biased and we're hypocrites. We're like, no, I'm only going to pay attention to the shit I was responsible for.
No, that's absolutely correct. We are and people are much more critical of what other people do. They are more easily forgive themselves than they will other people. If they do something that's, like you said, irresponsible, they'll have a softening of it. Like, well, yeah, but if it's the other person, it's all nails out. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of the main requirements to be a good husband, a good father, or whatever, and to exist in that paradigm, is that you have to be okay with boring. You have to be okay with boring and repetition.
Yep.
Barbecues and ball games, newspapers at the end of the night. You're not fucking. You're just kind of talking about your day. Jimmy's growth spurt. you have to find joy in these things, and
Mhm.
and this is there's a reason why artists don't move well in that system. Jesus.
Josh, yes, everybody up here has a channel and an Instagram. I'm a drop the banner so you guys.
froze.
Okay.
You froze.
Let me just finish my point real quick. It just requires for you to be just like Johnny Depp said, for you to get in line.
Fall in line with the person in front of you.
For you to fall in fucking line. And I'm not good with that. That's one of the reasons why I've struggled as an employee in my life. I've struggled with a lot of things in my life because I'm just not that great at falling in line. I'm just really great at doing my own thing. I like adrenaline rushes. Strangely enough, I do love the first 3-4 months of a relationship. That shit is hot and heavy. That shit is wild sex. That shit is trying things you don't necessarily try with other fucking people. That shit is usually the shit that they make movies out of. Like they make Netflix fucking specials out of.
It's like City of Angels. Like, what does a pear taste like?
That's that shit. That's that shit. Everything else after that, once a man surrenders himself, yes, I do say surrender because you do have to surrender yourself to some degree. Even chemically, your testosterone drops and you become a family man because your body says, okay, we gotta chill now. We can't eat children. We gotta look out for this woman. You know what I mean? We got to go out there and make sure that they consistently get what they need.
Right. And that is what rom-coms are built of. So one of my favorite scenes I told you guys before is City of Angels is when Seth, the angel, asks, the human, what does a pear taste like? And then she's like, what do you mean? What does it taste like? It tastes like a pear. And he was like, no, what does it taste like to you? Right? That's the first 3 months in a nutshell. Motherfucker been eating pears his whole life. Right? But he wants to know how I eat a pear. And then 3 months later, he doesn't give a fuck how I eat a pear. Right? And vice versa. Right? Like, oh my God, you do that? You dunk your cookies in milk? Do it again. And then a year in, it's like every time you fucking eat cookies and milk, you spill the milk on the fucking table and you're not going to clean it. I'm going to clean it. You're not going to clean it. And I don't want to see the milk on the table. I don't. I want to think it's cute that he dumps his cookies and milk those first 3 months sideways, right? And I will not sign up for it, Lily. I will not do it.
That's why a lot of times when a man is also great at what he does, at his chosen profession, he usually sucks as a dad or as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Like most men, if they kick ass at their chosen profession, they just can't maintain other things outside of that. Like, I go back to this scene a lot. The scene between Robert De Niro and Pacino in Heat when they're in the diner and they're talking about the women that they have in their lives. And Pacino was like, I think he's on his like 4th marriage, 5th marriage, whatever. And he's basically saying the reason why I can't keep a fucking woman is because I obsess about catching guys like you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't be a functional husband because I always need to take guys like you down. I'm obsessed with it. You know what I mean? But it makes me great at what the fuck I do. And De Niro basically, he doesn't have that much of a life either when it comes to, women. Why? Because he's always looking for the next score. He was always looking to rob some fucking shit. He can't do the barbecues and ball games and shit like that because for him, that doesn't make him feel alive.
And I think that's more likely the case than not. Black Lexicon has a great point. He says, once you chose to cross the threshold, you are sucked in with a vacuum that does not have a reverse, right? Mm-hmm. Until you're old and the kids are out the house and it's like, shit.
Then you got bad knees.
Right. You can go with me to the bouncy house. Right?
Go with you. He's gonna watch you bounce. Like he ain't bouncing shit. You better hope he don't bounce. I'm gonna like get stuck in between some shit, and they gotta call the fucking jaws of life to get this guy out. You know what I'm saying? So you better hope.
Hilarious. Let me write that down. That's a great scene. That shit is hilarious. That's hilarious. That is funny. I'll send you your 5% is in the mail.
Absolutely.
This right here, we have to be more open to other human beings. E-music, I understand you are passionate about your kids. Okay. A lot of men are, a lot of women are. We get it. But you must understand, just because someone else isn't doesn't make them a bad man. That's why I'm asking the question tonight. Should parents be allowed to opt out of parenting? It's an undertaking. It is quite an arduous task. The theory of having children is wonderful. They're going to wipe my ass when I'm 95. They're going to go off and they're going to be doctors and lawyers. And they're going to make me so proud at the next christening when I'm telling all my relatives, you know, Johnny's a doctor, right? And that's the idea. That's the idea. That's seldom what happens when these little runts are born, right?
And that's why parents get upset when you go against what's already envisioned in their head.
It's like, no, what do you mean you want?
Well, and
you want to get tattoos? You want to drop out of school? That wasn't my plan.
Yeah, and that's why I think that, you know, I'm just thinking, like, people that are very successful, I'm sure, and it doesn't have to be super rich, just in general, they went through and went to college and I would say the kids in high school that actually had an idea of what they wanted to do, as opposed to someone like me who really didn't know what I was going to do when I got out, you know? And I think the advantage I have is I understand, okay, one of my kids, he wants to go to college. The other one, I'm not so sure, but I can talk to him and let him know, listen, you know how long it took me? Listen, this is what I did in high school. I was doing, you know, I did some of the same things you did. It doesn't dictate how your life's going to turn out, is basically what I was letting them know, because you're told in school, at least we were, the gym teacher, of course, you're going to be flipping burgers. You know, you're gonna be flipping burgers the rest of your life, and so it scared the shit out of me. Am I gonna be flipping burgers the rest of my life? But you know, that's the thing. I think there's advantages to actually having experiences that you can now think, okay, I don't know what, and I said that a long time ago. Like, I have no idea how to tell these kids what to do, because things change so fast now. When I was in school, there were still some jobs that you could look at and say, oh, I can be this. And you thought that job was going to be there forever, right? Now, jobs are there for 5 years and then something else comes along and takes over. So really have to be flexible. But to what you're saying, yeah, when you put expectations and you have dreams of what your kids are going to do, be prepared to be disappointed, you know, because chances are they're not going to be anything that in your mind you want them to be. So just be flexible when it comes to that.
And I got to look at it like this, you know, for the guys that don't take care of themselves per se and their testosterone, like I always say, when empty nest season comes around, you're stuck with this person who's more of a man than when you met him. And you're at a disadvantage because you're half the man that you were when you put this person on their back. I'm talking about in terms of the woman losing her estrogen. And she's more of a guy, and you're more of a woman. Right, and you're stuck in this situation now where it's just like, because of that change, it's like you're meeting each other in a different space. And maybe you might have picked up different habits, and maybe she might pick up different things and so on. So it's kind of like you got to relearn each other. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of times those women don't want to relearn you. A lot of times these women say, you know what? I still got some left in the tank. I'm going to go out there and fuck it. And, you know, at the end of the day, that woman could be 60 years old. Somebody still is going to want to hit it. If as a man,
Have you seen those? Have you seen those 60-year-olds on Instagram?
Saying that shit. I saw
And-
one.
and-
I saw one. I was about to climb right in her inbox. Like, look, listen here.
That's
And
all
Jen-
pull-ups. I was like, what the?
And Jen, I really do believe that when we talk about 80% women are filing for divorce, I really do believe it's because they have a lot more options, and I think guys don't because they know they don't. The dry spell for a guy, the majority of men are going to be a long time.
That's why the red pill in the manosphere was absolutely ridiculous with that narrative about a woman. She hit the wall. This woman's gonna have way more options than you for way longer. That's nature because she has a vagina.
And especially in the day of now, we have the flip to the left, flip to the right. Most guys aren't getting hit on that, and most of the girls are. By the same guy.
What it is, man. Like, look, listen. Like I said, man, I saw this woman. She was like maybe in her 50s, late 50s, 60s. She was in amazing shape. She took great care of her skin. I was saying to myself, like, look, man, I know my back still work better than their fucking husband. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And he clearly wasn't in the gym. He was just happy he was with her. You know what I mean? And come on, man. After a while, she gonna look at him as dead weight.
Yeah, I have to. E-Music says my passion comes from watching our black boys lose at life, worshiping rappers who care less. Blah blah blah. Will do. Y'all gotta let go of that Bill Cosby. Y'all have to let go of. Y'all gotta let go of like making these celebrities. Yeah. You're saying that the boys are looking up to rappers. The rappers are making money. You have to meet people where they are. You got to speak their language. Now, one motherfucking Bill Cosby, Dr. Huxtable would be affecting these kids today. These kids today, you think that these kids today would be watching some fucking Dr. Huxtable making stupid faces in the living room with a fucking sweater? You think that these kids today would be like, and his little dance on them fucking ugly sweaters? You think these kids would be listening to some Dr. Huxtable? Y'all gotta let go of like thinking that your leaders are these fucking celebrities and these actors. These motherfuckers, they're trash. They're trash.
E-Music, it's not the correct way you spell lose. Okay, I'm kind of tired of seeing you motherfuckers struggle with loose and lose. Okay, that's not how you spell lose. Lose is L-O-S-E. Loose is L-O-O-S-E.
Karan's being a grammar Nazi tonight.
I mean, it just that should just be kicking motherfuckers' asses, man.
It was like, he did. He corrected it, but his correction was wrong as well. But we're gonna get off.
That's what I'm saying.
We're gonna get off.
I know where he was going with it. I know where he was going with it. It was just like,
I totally understand, but I think that's also, and people are not gonna like when I say this, especially black people, they're sensitive asses. But this whole thing, like he said, I'm tired of seeing our black boys lose their life. This community thing that you have is almost the what's that scientific thing they claim humans have this desire to know God, or they claim humans have this. No, humans are always looking for whatever. Okay,
God gene, yeah.
Right. Believe what y'all want. I don't have it. I guess I'm broken. However, I feel like the black community, they have that same gene. And I think that it's a case study. They have a gene where in their mind, they think there's a community that they're responsible for and that they have to help, and it's a collective. And I'm like, there's no fucking collective. That's why there's so much friction. And that's why there's so much disagreement, because it's not supposed to be that way. Winners go with winners, losers go with losers, beautiful people hang with beautiful people, ugly people hang with ugly people. And every now and then, but rarely, every now and then, one of the haves reaches down to the have-nots. But it's not a natural state of being. I don't know why you insist and persist that that's a natural state of being, that all human beings are kumbaya. No, human beings are savage. And they would take your mama's head off if it meant they had to feed their child. What is this communità, this mirage of communità? I'm tired of seeing our black boys lose. What black boys? You're responsible for your children, sir. For yours.
Well, this comes
Like,
from
what
a
is this?
Can you
What is this?
hear me?
yeah.
Yes.
We can hear. Well, this comes from the relationship
That's
that,
right.
Was it
that
slavery? Was it slavery? Are we blaming slavery? Is this slavery again?
well, it comes from the relationship that the communità has with trauma. You know what I mean? And when you have that kind of relationship with trauma, you're always going to be looking up to the sky, as opposed to when you are the victor and you are the oppressor, you have a God complex. You don't necessarily have a yeah, it's yeah.
Wait, I just thought of something. You're absolutely right. Because people get angry when wealthy people don't help poor people. But it's because the poor people are still stuck in the communità. The rich people ain't even thinking about that shit, right? They'll do charity work and, write off on their taxes. But
Absolutely.
it's like the broke people or the regular people, the average Joe, the commoners, whatever you want to call them, they're more hell bent on, no, look, I'm tired of seeing our black boys lose. Would you be saying that as a billionaire?
Absolutely not.
Right.
I have never heard of one person who won the lottery and gave half that shit to the poor. I've never heard of any lottery winner giving their money to charity.
Look how much this lady gave away, Bezos' ex-wife. She gave away a lot of money.
I mean, she gave away a lot of money. I mean, but she was surrounded by money for such a long time.
Yeah,
it was like par for the course for her. But the average motherfucker, once they hit a lick, they ain't having a mother.
I hate that lady.
I was about to say, it kind of reminds me of social media and the issue that's going on with social media. Like, meaning in the Black community, we're expected to all look out for each other just because we're Black, in the same way that on social media, we're expected to get along perfectly because we have a fucking social media account. Right? Just because we're all on Facebook, just because we're all on YouTube. Like, in real life, a lot of us would never associate with each other. Like, let's keep it a buck. In real life, there's real separation for a reason. It's kind of like when I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta and I saw that Kim Zolciak was on there. I was like, this is contrived because in real life Atlanta, people hang with their own kind. Blacks hang with blacks, whites hang with whites, right? And it's just segregated like that. It's just a thing, right? And so it looks contrived, and then you get these natural blow-ups because people would never even be together for a reason. There's a reason why they're separated, right? So it's the same thing with the Black community. Like, a lot of us would not fucking know each other, or it's we don't like each other, like, for the most part. So yeah. That's where I'm at with it.
Well, it's a natural need.
I was just saying that, I got into a debate earlier with a woman who started, a Latina woman who started her own, a film production company. I'm proud of her. Do your thing, girl. But then she's complaining that Latins were underrepresented during the Golden Globes. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, sometimes I feel like I'm on the wrong planet. I'm like, you cannot be a beggar and a chooser at the same time. It is not logical. Either you're at their mercy, of the oppressors, and you're going to accept who they award and who they don't and shut the fuck up, or you're going to be independent and work on your production company and become your own powerhouse. I never understood the love-hate thing. Oh, the Latins were underrepresented. That's not fair because Latins are the majority of the seat fillers in theater. We live in a capitalist society. That's as stupid as you saying, I bought all of Beyonce's albums. She should have got me a Christmas present. If you want to be the dick, keep supporting people that are oppressing you, then that is your issue. Latins are the ones that go to the theater. Fucking good. fucking good. Now, what do you want for it? A cookie? You keep going. You keep supporting the films. That doesn't mean that they have to give you a bonus at the end of the year. They are giving you a product, right? You're paying for that product. You sit there and you enjoy that product. What more do you fucking want? What do they owe you? No, but we're supposed to get the awards because we're on. It's like, I cringe. I cringe. And that's the look. Congratulations on your production company. I hope you do well with it. Again, beggars can't be choosers. But we deserve to sit at that table. What fucking table? The table that they built where they bring the food out? You deserve to sit.
This is why I'm a Mariah fan, because I get a Christmas gift every Christmas.
Ding, 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 ding.
Damn, I wish I helped write that.
Right?
Man, look, listen. You eating for life.
All I want for Christmas. I don't even like Christmas, and I love that song.
Listen,
I know, right?
listen.
Every year, like clockwork, millions. every year.
I could have just settled for just being in the room, do a little lick, get a little 1-2%. Because even 2% of that record, you good. Just 2% of that shit, you fucking good,
And
man.
yeah,
shit is amazing.
that song has, you know, it used to be when you were growing up, you heard the whatever, Bing Crosby or whatever it was, but
Absolutely.
that song has become the classic in the Christmas classic songs, and I think that's what every artist that comes up with a Christmas album is hoping for, but not everybody gets it. You know, it's just
Mariah got it. Mariah got it tenfold. It says here she makes $3 million every Christmas, and the sum goes way up during years when she decides to perform Christmas concerts and tours, as well as when and if she does holiday specials and product endorsements. So we look at anywhere like 5 million annually if she feels like doing a concert or selling a Christmas perfume. Salute, baby, salute. You can't get mad at that. All right, guys, before I start dragging people, I think we've done enough tonight. I hate that Lily keeps Lily, go home tomorrow.
I will be home tomorrow. This is crazy, but it is like it sounds like outside.
My windows too. Like I don't. There's something wicked this way comes. I don't know what the fuck is going on. All right, guys. So what is it? I think now we're not. I think it is whatever cousin now. Okay, music. All right, guys. Good night. Don't forget to support the show. Cash App on the block again. Jen, thank you for the people that just Cash App. Thank you, much appreciated. We will see you tomorrow. We didn't even talk about. I did want to talk about, you know, like legally should it be a thing that parents are allowed to opt out? But we could cover that another day. All right, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. I see y'all panel. Good night. See you tomorrow. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door from Mama. Thank you for being here. Tonight was short and sweet. We're going to bring some spicy for y'all tomorrow, okay? People going to be mad, but that's what we do here on the block. All right, guys. Good night.